Okay, so for this lecture, excuse me, we're going to focus on those photosystems, those complexes of proteins and chlorophylls, and we're going to try to see how they function. Now, when you look back, when you look at the last lecture and you look at the figures in the textbook, you'll notice that it's a series of reactions that start with photosystem 2, then go to photosystem 1. Why is it that? It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds backwards. 2 first, 1 second. Well, it's a naming thing, and it's based on when they were first discovered. Photosystem 1 was discovered first, and then years later, somebody was able to identify a second photosystem, photosystem 2. Years later, when somebody sat down and worked out, with experiments exactly how they function together, they found that photosystem 2 goes first, photosystem 1 comes second. So it's counterintuitive, but that's just the way it works. When you look at the different photosystems, you're going to see some general architectures, some general shapes that are the same. You're going to see that there are these green areas that have the chlorophyll. Keep in mind, what you're looking at here is a picture showing you this. Boom. Here's the surface. It's been cut. Keep in mind, it actually wraps all the way around. Okay? It wraps all the way around the reaction center. Okay, at the center where we're going to have some important things. Now, these light harvesting complexes, that's what you're seeing here, and that's what wraps around. This is where the chlorophyll is found. What we see happens here is that all molecules, all matter in the universe is vibrating a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. The pigments, the green balls you see, the chlorophylls, they also have their own frequency they vibrate at. It's set frequency for all of them until one of them gets hit by a photon of energy, and then it starts vibrating more. That vibration gets passed on back and forth between the different chlorophylls all throughout that reaction center. That harvesting center. And then it gets passed to a special chlorophyll right here. That double chlorophyll you see there. That's a special chlorophyll. It's referred to as P680. It's a dual chlorophylls that work together to take that vibrational energy and to give up electrons. So, photon of energy hits a chlorophyll molecule in the light harvesting complex, causes it to vibrate at a different frequency, more energy. That energy gets passed around different chlorophylls until it gets dumped over to P680, this special chlorophyll that gives up electrons. Now here's the thing, you can't give up too many electrons before your shape change. Change your shape, change your function. So somehow those electrons that were given up have to be replaced. And the best way for that to happen is to just take some from water. Water, H2O. The electrons from the hydrogens are stripped off. The remaining protons are dumped into the lumen of the thylakoid, and that oxygen that's left over, it's a waste product. It'll combine with another oxygen, form O2, which will be released by the cell through the stroma, out of the leaf, through the stroma, and then you get to breathe in. So anyways, that electron that was first released by P680 jumps up to what is referred to as a primary electron acceptor. This primary electron acceptor is what will then pass that electron, that excited electron, onto the electron transport chain. Now, if you look down the bottom there, photosystem 1. Photosystem 1 has quite a bit of the same thing going on here. Whereas photosystem 2 has P680, also known as chlorophyll A. Photosystem 1 has P700, chlorophyll B. And what you'll notice is there's no splitting of water here. The electron that was excited, harvested by photosystem 2, gets passed on to an electron transport chain where energy gets bled off, little bits taken off to pump hydrogen. That electron's now at a lower energy state. Well, it gets passed on to chlorophyll B, P700 right here. And what's going to happen is photons of energy are going to hit the chlorophylls over here in the light harvesting complex. More vibrations, more energy gets passed on to chlorophyll B that has a somewhat excited but not completely excited electron. That energy gets passed on to the electron gets re-excited, gets pumped back up into a high energy state, and then kicked up to another electron acceptor. So, photosystem 2 is the only one where you see a loss of an electron that has to be replaced by the splitting of water. Photosystem 1, the electron is supplied. Okay, it comes from the electron transport chain, which ultimately came from photosystem 2. And photosystem 1 is just re-energizing.